Okay, good evening, everyone. It's very tricky over here these days. Last night we had 15 people by the second Marav, but now I see we're a little tight by the first Marav. It's tricky. Okay, we're going to have to try to get more people for the regular minyan. Like I said, it's for me it's easier to have one minyan, but it's the right thing to have two minyanim. Okay.
If you need that, you can stay.
No, we need you. We can't assume that you want to stay and learn something. That's different. Mavasedra or something that you could do. Okay. We are holding with Mishna Hay in the 10th parak, sponsored by the Fisher family, Lila Nishim Sbasi Bas Rabbi, Shlomo ben Avram Alevi, Perel Bas Ruvain. We also learn Lila Nishmas David ben Chaim, Lefu Shalem Efel Yoim Moshe ben Chai Sarah, for Schus of Avram and Yom ben Ish Malki Hudis by Yo Kudman and family, and Lefu Shalem Efel Meir ben Chai Sarah. So here's an interesting situation. Rich has a wall next to my garden. He has a wall next to my garden, and it falls into my garden. Now remember, we said if it just falls, he's pater. But now I tell him, Rich, clean up your mess. I tell him, Kanei avonecha, clear away your stones. And Rich says to me, Higiyucha, you could keep the stones. Keep them. Ain't sheminlai. We don't listen to him. I don't want your stones. But, Mishikibal alav, if I say, okay, and I collect them, and then Rich says, what was I, an idiot? Right? Here's your expenses for gathering it, and I'll take what's mine. Ain't shemelo, too late, Rich. Same thing in the next case. I hire Rich to gather my straw and stubble. And when he does the job, he's a very good guy. He says, "Tain li schari, give me my pay." You know what? Take the straw and stubble. Tol masha asisa b'scharcha, take what you worked with for your pay. Ein shemelai, he has a right to get greenbacks. He has a right. I mean, he takes zel also, but I can't pass on to him the straw and the stubble. However, Mishikibel alav, if he says I'll take it, and then I say, no, I need it for my animals. And I say to him, hey, here's the money, and I'll take the straw and the stubble. Too late, ain't shaymin. Now, it was the custom that farmers would sell their manure for fertilizer. So the din is that if Rich was selling his fertilizer, he would take it out of the stall and leave it in front of his house in the public area for me to pick it up. So the din is, that's okay, but I got to pick it up right away. He puts it out, and I got to pick it up right away. Now, you cannot soak clay in the Rishus Harabim, because that's a procedure that takes a while, and that's too much of a menace, since it's there for such a long time in the Rishus Harabim. So, ein shoyrin tit Rishus Harabim. You can't soak clay in the Rishus Harabim. Ve'ein loyin leveinim, nor can you form bricks, which also takes a long time. Aval goyvelin tit b'rishus harabim, but you could knead the clay in the rishus harabim because that doesn't take a long time to knead it into cement. Aval loy leveinim, but not to knead it into bricks, which takes a longer time. Habayna b'rishus harabim, if let's say I'm building a property that abuts the rishus harabim. In other words, I'm building up to my property line, so they want to deliver the construction material and leave it in the rishus harabim in front of the house. So the din is habayna b'rishus harabim, hamevi avonim mevi. The company could bring the stones. Vabayna bayna, I have to put it in right away. I can't leave it in rishus harabim. And even then, even if I use it right away, the imhizik, if somebody gets hurt, mishal masha hizik. In other words, I could leave it there at my own risk. If somebody gets hurt, even if I was taking it away right away, I'm chayiv.
You took it right away. So as soon as it was delivered, you took it right away.
Well, not fast enough. Somebody had a chance to get hurt. Now, Reb Shimon Gamliel disagrees on both things. Reb Shimon Gamliel says he could take delivery and leave it there for 30 days. And once he has permission, then he's not chayiv if somebody got hurt. Once he did a b'rishus, he's not chayiv. Reb Shimon Gamliel argues on 2 points. Reb Shimon Gamliel aimer af mesaken hu es malachto lefnei shloshim yom. He could have it there and leave it there for 30 days. And if somebody gets hurt, since he's doing a b'rishus, he's not responsible. Now, this is an interesting case. I have a garden on the bottom. Next to me, Rich has a raised garden. In other words, my garden is on ground level. Rich's property was elevated with earth, and he has a garden alongside above me. What happens here, so Rich has a wall of earth until his garden. What happens over here is some herbs grew out from Rich's wall and is hanging over my airspace of my property. So who do you think those herbs belong to? That's an interesting shayla. Rich says, duh, it's coming from my ground. I say, it's growing over my airspace. Interesting shayla. So, shtei yinois, 2 gardens, zu al gav zu. One elevated and alongside the other. Vayerek b'intayim. And vegetables grow out from the wall that's next to mine. You know, the wall, because his garden is higher. So vegetables grow out sideways from the wall of Rich's earth. Rameir Eimer shel Elyon. Rameir says, oh, definitely Rich's. Rabbi Yehuda Eimer shel Tachnun, definitely mine. Amar Rameir. So Rameir says, listen, Im Yirtza Elyon likach es afaroi, if Rich took away his earth, would there be any crops? Yeah, but listen to what Rabbi Yehuda says. Rabbi Yehuda argues, then I can yorek. I'm Rabbi Yehuda, if I would fill up my airspace, then there would be no crops there either. If I fill up my airspace with earth, then there would be no crops growing there either, because there was no room for them to grow. And kan yorek. So Rameir says, you know what? Each of us have a convincing argument. So why do I say it belongs to Rich? Not because I like Rich. Why do I say it belongs to Rich? Because we see where it derives its nourishment from. And it derives its nourishment from Rich's earth. Since both of us could have made this growth impossible, Rich by taking away his earth, me by filling up the airspace, we look from where this vegetable derives its nourishment. And since it derives its nourishment from rich's property from his earth, Rameir awards it to rich. Reb Shimon has a different compromise. If Rich is standing on top of his elevated garden, wherever he could bend down and reach the herb and bring it to him, Hariu Shaloi. Vashar, but everything else that's beyond his grasp, Shel Tachtan. I like that track better. Belongs to me. Believe it or not, we just finished Bava Metzia. Mesechtes Bava Metzia, Hanulach Mesechtes Bava Metzia, Hanulach Mesechtes Bava Metzia. In Yitz Hashem tomorrow we'll start Bava Basra. Rabbi Ababak just pointed out to me that when we finish Sanhedrin, Bava Basra, and we start Sanhedrin, we're starting Sanhedrin in the Daf Yomi the same day that we start Sanhedrin in the Mishna Yomis. That's pretty cool.